So we have been talking about all the features of the instrument and meeting performance of US EPA 1633A, but one thing that worries me, and I guess worries many users, is about the installation of the instrument, right? Mm-hmm. And whether the instrument is truly PFAS-free, right? So we see that claim all the time among our competition. And I'm curious at what care is needed for the installation and what care is needed to, deliver a PFAS-free instrument.
Yeah, a real critical part of that is going to be the consumables and solvents that are used in the laboratory. So backing up a little bit, we recommend solvents and consumables that we've tested and we know that are essentially PFAS-free. In other words, they won't generate as much background when you use these consumables, such that you will surpass, for example, the method requirements in the EPA methods. So it's really important that those blanks are clean, right? So everything contributes to it. So it's important that the instrument's installed in the right place. So there's a pre-installation manual which talks about the best ventilation and the best place to put it in your laboratory, and that's really important, along with the solvents and consumables that we recommend. And Thermo Fisher Scientific does sell all the consumables and the solvents needed for this. Another very important thing is that we also have a white paper that basically outlines the installation for our field service engineers to ensure that they're installed properly and working properly. And the next thing they do is they often rinse the system out, right? So they'll rinse the system out to make sure that there's no PFAS contamination coming from the system. So it's like a system check, right? So they'll rinse it out for a couple of hours to make sure that all the components are completely free of PFAS, and then the system is ready to use for the end user.
So basically, after unboxing and field service engineer checks all the components, they rinse the system for a couple hours, and afterwards, instrument is ready.
The instrument is ready to go, yes.
With a background that is compliant with 1633A.
Yeah, that's the most important thing to the end user.
Right, and where our viewers could find this information about consumables that they could be used on EXTREVA ASE.
Yeah, there's websites on Thermo Fisher. We have a consumables website that's dedicated to PFAS materials.
Okay.
And so I don't know what that website address is right now in my head, but indeed we can have that edited in.
And I would guess, Gopal, that could also be found on the application notes?
Yeah, we just published one application note, and you can find the list of consumables and supplies
in the application note. That's a good point.
So it could be either the Thermo Fisher Scientific PFAS dedicated website or the EXTREVA ASE application note.
Yes.
Excellent. And talking about that one, Gopal, kind of like a segue question here. Can someone claim an instrument is zero PFAS?
I mean, PFAS, like Ed said, PFAS is everywhere. So you cannot say it's zero. What you can say is that whether it's compliance with your intended method. For this case, it's EPA 1633. So as long as your PFAS backgrounds are below EPA's MDL, it should be good to go.
Okay.
And in this case, our EXTREVA is below, has PFAS background below EPA's MDLs, yes.
So based on your experience, do you have any recommendations for our users, right, in terms of, the whatnots, in order to, because, you and other colleagues have thoroughly tested the EXTREVA ASE for PFAS analysis in a variety of samples. We're curious what should be not done, or what would be your recommendation in terms of last space and other consumables, in addition to the ones that Ed just mentioned.
So in our case, what we did was we tried to simulate the user cases. What that means is that we were testing our method in a shared lab space. So when we did that, you will see time to time some of the PFAS background coming from variety of sources because of the high traffic in the lab. So what I will suggest to our customer is to basically, if possible, to install the instrument in an isolated space. That way there is no high traffic, basically.
Right.
Because if you do that in a high traffic area, you will see PFBA especially in your blank.
Correct.
Because PFBA is even in the air, right? So yeah.
And so in line with Ed's recommendation, would you also suggest essentially for our viewers to follow up the recommendations that are currently in your...
Yes, of course. Otherwise, your background will be low and will be under control, but time to time you will see some of the contaminants in your blank if you don't do like isolated space.
Excellent. So for our viewers, is the expectation in the coming months a white paper on full recommendations on PFAS with EXTREVA ASE will be presented. Thank you.